Welcome to No Resume Required, where we speak to extraordinary people about unconventional paths that led to purposeful lives. My guest today is Michael Gewirtzman. Michael is the Global Vice President of Programming at Advertising Week. For over a decade, he has programmed and hosted events and broadcasts that have featured some of the most influential executives, celebrities, politicians, athletes, authors, and thought leaders in the world. Gewirtzman is also the founder and president of Vinyl Artist Management, where he managed the careers of internationally beloved, mainstream, and independent artists. He's been featured by outlets including Billboard magazine, CBS, and Forbes for his passion to create impactful connections between leaders, artists, and audiences. Welcome, brother.
Thanks, man. It's really great to be here.
I'm so happy that you're here.
Thank you.
For the audience's benefit, we go back like car seats.
We do. We're Lakers, man. We're go Lakers, right?
Exactly. We attended the same school.
Yeah.
And I had a chance to first connect with Michael when he was a student and had this idea and passion for music and entertainment and wanted to pursue it. And I just remember your perseverance and the passion that you had for it at the time, and I was excited to see you return a few years later with Vinyl Artists and made your dream come true.
It's cool.
How do you think you were able to manage marrying passion with profession?
Yeah, I think it was interesting. So I was doing the concerts in Oswego back then. So I already had a little bit under the belt. I was booking all the shows there. And even predating that, I was working, back when I was in high school even, I was working for talent agencies.
Oh, wow.
I was booking talent for commercial work, film work, TV, the whole thing. I was in that industry for 2 or 3 years. Before I went to college, I was in college with like literally a filing cabinet of headshots and stuff submitting for commercials while I was a student. So I kind of had that hustle for the entertainment industry already.
Absolutely.
And loved music, knew I loved music. So by the time I graduated, I had all this experience under the belt anyway. And first gig out of college, I was working for a marketing company, and then I ended up really quickly leaving and got a gig in the music industry, working for a manager. Right. And learning some stuff for that manager, working with artists that I'm still friends with today. And then that time got cut short. It ended positively. I think it was like an insurance thing or whatever, like health insurance, whatever it was. And at that point, I was like, I love this so much. I need a gig. I got a job. I did. I had a job that was for a medical publishing company. I was doing client relations work for years.
But it was a job.
For years, keeping the lights on. And I've said this before to people. I said, like, just sometimes you have to do the things you have to do the things you want to do.
Right.
And so that's the really short answer. Right. Too late for that, right? But I was doing the things I had to do.
You were grinding, and you were grinding to make it happen. It wasn't like it was just like, hey, Michael, we'd love to have you come into the industry.
Yeah. No. I started with a group that I knew from Syracuse when I was going to school there, and then I started getting more artists and doing really creative things with them. Billboard did the 30 Under 30, which was huge for me, and I don't even know what would have happened if it didn't, right? So, and that's when I started getting even more artists, and then I didn't need to do it with the side hustle for a while, and did that for years.
And materialized.
Yeah.
You work with, and by your, what you do as a profession, a lot of people of note, a lot of famous people, celebrities, athletes, artists. Is there anyone that had you starstruck? When you think back, is there anybody? Because I know that's your job, is to be chill and treat them as important people, but
right. It's. I think that if it did happen to me, I wouldn't show it as much.
Right.
Which is why I think I'm good at what I do. Right. But I'll tell you, this is really. It sounds like a funny answer. It is a funny answer.
Right.
But it's a true answer.
Okay.
The only time. Grover, the Muppet Grover.
The
real
Muppet Grover.
I could have prefaced it with everything, and I just had to dive in because it was it was in Mexico City. I worked with Sesame Street. I had the actual Grover there. He was doing a session with someone. I got to take a picture of Grover, and you just forget that like there's a person attached to it. When you're taking a picture, you become a kid again, and and I looked around the room and I saw people becoming kids again.
It was
forgetting,
transportive.
and and just meeting And by the way, it was Mexico City. He goes by Archibaldo. It was Grover. He had the same exact voice. He was speaking in Spanish, there, but like it just, I think something about that IP and the real deal and feeling the fun, like just meant more to me than like any of the others. And I've met the people who I've looked up to. I've met Kevin Smith, and I've met all these people who've had kind of influence on me. But I think the Grover thing was just different. It felt really cool. I'm not getting emotional. I just have something in my eyes.
Sure. No worries.
But yeah, that was cool. I think Grover was the starstruck one.
That's awesome. I mean,
it's a weird one.
Right? Well, it's an emotional connection. It's an emotional connection.
It is.
One of the things or attributes that I connect with you or your personal brand is kindness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you think kindness has played a role for you professionally?
Yeah. I mean, I think in the music industry, not well. I don't think kindness helped there.
Right.
But I stuck
mistaken
to
for
it.
weakness.
Mistaken for weakness. Always mistaken. But you don't let it. Like,
right.
And that's the thing. And it only takes a couple of people learning the wrong way, like that it's not weakness,
right.
for them to realize, all right, well, you could be nice and not weak. I refuse to not be. I've been in places and treated not well by people professionally.
Right.
Really not well by people professionally. And I would never want to do that, either whether it's as a boss or manager or just as someone who's working with other people. Like, everyone's got gigs, everyone's got lives, everyone's got their own things going on. If we
right.
can't think about people as people, like, what are we even doing here? It's pointless.
I agree. I mean, having that touch of humanity is really, I think, the difference. And I mean, you've always demonstrated that to me. I've always felt that that's something that's important to you in the manner in which you conduct yourself personally and professionally. But in a business or in a field, that's very tough to do that. So keeping that balance is not easy. It's
not easy, but it's also who I'm not going to change who I am as a person because of, and then maybe that's bad also, right? Like, I'm not going to tone it down either. No. I can be a lot. I'm great in small doses.
Right.
Great in small doses.
I love that. But you're authentic, and always bring your authentic self.
I try. Yeah.
Success.
Mm-hmm.
Has your definition of success changed over your career, or do you have a sense of kind of how you determine what success is now?
Yeah, I think it's never changed. I just didn't achieve it. I think for me, what it always was, and this goes back to probably like even as long as I've known you, when I was doing job interviews back then, and people ask that, like, where do you want to be in 10 years, right. or 5 years, or 3 years, or whatever question, my answer to that is the same as the success question, which is, I want to wake up every day and say, I get to go to work today, not I have to go to work today.
Right.
Because if you wake up and you're like, oh, I get to go to work, I get to do what I do, well, then it's that whole, if you do what you love, you don't work a day at all.
It's a mindset.
That's it. And then it's not work, and then it feels like you're tricking the system, right? Like, I'm just doing stuff I love all day and hustling and talking to cool people all day. That's success, right? That's my job, it's a living. That was success to me.
Awesome. I think people would have a misconception of what it is that you do, and kind of, centered around large-scale events, securing talent speakers of all kind, and see this as just sexy. They don't see the intricate planning.
Yeah.
Then the day of the events, putting out fires and things like that. Can you tell people how it may be different to work an event and plan an event as opposed to being an attendee? It's
so deeply personal also, but I mean, my mind's going in a million different directions as to where to even take this. All right, here's the, let's step back and just think about my job right now. I decide the tracks and the themes that we think about on the stage. Advertising Week, we've got a 4-day event, 8 stages. Besides my main stage, there's a different track every day on 7 stages. Wow. It's almost 30 tracks and topics to come up with, from the start. And then you're looking at it as a grid, and it's like, well, what works on the same day and what doesn't work on the same day, and what's popular on this day and what's popular on that day, and how do you stack the deck? And that's before you even start to have these conversations about what to place.
Right.
And then I'm getting into the placements, and some of it's people pitching me, and some of it's me pitching other people.
Right.
And trying to come up with unique, fun, cool ideas and do that. And then it's the execution of it and making sure that everything is laid out for the website and the app and the schedule, and for my team doing logistics. And then it's the day of logistics, right? And being that touch point for the people that I work with. These are relationships.
Yes.
I program myself, with my team, 120 sessions for New York. And that's just New York. I do Mexico. I do some other, but for New York. And so it's making sure that you're getting FaceTime with all these people. Plus, you're moderating things, and you're in it.
You're in it,
yeah.
And every aspect of it. But I just remember, thinking to myself, something goes wrong, somebody doesn't show up, and he gets the call, and it's in a moment's time. You got to find somebody to sub in for this, or make do with somebody being late. You're dealing with humans.
It happens a lot. My first event that I programmed for Advertising Week was in Mexico City, and it was the 2019 event, and it was right before the world shut down, right before everything. I was getting calls from speakers at the airport. They'd landed in Mexico City, and they said, I just got a call. I have to get on the next flight back. I can't get off the plane. Some people weren't yet because it was 2 weeks before. Like, I got home 1 week, everything shut down the next week. So it was just, but on the spot in a country where I don't really speak the language very well, if at all, I was making phone calls to people who I don't really know to try to fill spots last minute, because that can't happen too much at an event, right?
Talk about resourceful, right?
Yeah, and so I was doing that, but then things in New York, like I had something really, I could probably talk about it now, but like we had a really big speaker, a celebrity, and there was a death in the family, and it was like the day of, and what do? You can't, you're not going to get selfish there, right? Like it's a horrible situation, and you say, all right, well, that was my headliner, what do we do? So for an hour you say, can I swap someone? Is there anyone I can fill this with? Maybe there's a surprise.
Right.
And then after that, you say, well, I've got the rest of this event to work with, and I've got so many other great things.
Right. You have to keep it moving.
We're going to close strong because every session's good anyway. Just keep it moving. Write an email. Here's what it says. Let's be mindful of the situation. Let's send our love to the individual. Move on. Right? And then that's it. And then that's all you can do.
That is all you can do.
Control. You can control. That's it.
How do you think you stay so chill or even keeled in that setting when things are not going well? Because that you appear to me to be somebody who's calm on the outside. Is that just on the outside, and inside you're just running a million miles?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, I am. It's well, yes and no. I'm running a million miles because I have to be in a million places at once.
Right.
And in my mind, I'm actually like trying to like figure out all of the different places and the different things, and then you see people and they're waving to you, and everyone's and so there's a lot going on, and but I keep it together. One, I've been doing it for a long time.
Right.
And I think the music industry helped with that, and all of these other things have helped. But also, there's so much going on at the same time that like one small one, has to get solved. Like, I've got a great team. You have to trust people and just let it go.
Right.
You just have to trust people.
Focus on what you can control. Have you ever made a decision like based upon the fact that you felt it was just the right thing to do, as opposed to something that also was motivating you? Meaning that hey, listen, what I feel like this is just the kind or right thing to do. Did that ever guide your decision making process?
I try to do it every year. I try to do it all the time. I use this term really loosely. Mm-hmm. But with the pull, again, I use it very loosely, or whatever that I have in this industry.
Yeah.
I try to do good with it. Because what's the point of it, like, if you don't give back somehow? And so whether that is finding the people who I would like to elevate onto the stage that I don't think other people will, and really set them up for success.
Right,
like,
you're in a position to really change somebody's career.
You go to the people that are doing the things that don't get on these stages, and you give them these opportunities, and it happens sometimes. Sometimes it's creators, sometimes it's brands, and you hear from them in the years to follow, like, you were the first one, you did it, you were the first one, and now we're invited to every event, and so I try to do that. But also the charitable things too. Right. We're doing something really, really cool with Kevin Bacon right now.
Right. I had seen that you had posted it. That's a really what a wonderful adventure. You want to tell people about it?
Yeah, it's called Purpose Produced. It's a campaign we're doing with Kevin Bacon and his organization 6 Degrees. What we're trying to do is tackle the problem that all these purpose-driven nonprofits, all the money is going to the actual purpose that they're trying to address.
Right.
And the overhead. because it's expensive to run organizations, and not the spreading the word and the marketing. And so to do that, you know, it's really hard. How do you spread the word if you don't have the money? How do you raise the money if you can't spread the word? So what we've done is we've secured 6 really great agencies to do fully pro bono campaigns, 360 campaigns for 6 nonprofits that won this campaign.
Wow.
And we're addressing all sorts of, and I encourage everyone to look up Purpose Produced in the campaign. They have full 360 campaigns. They're going to see the light of day, TV, the whole thing. We've got funding so that they, you know, get TV time, billboards, whatever it might be. They're going to get stage time at Advertising Week. Kevin's going to close day 1 on stage. We're going to talk about the campaigns. Hopefully those commercials win industry awards, and we can go on to tell this beautiful, impactful work. And it's telling this bigger story, not just about these 6 organizations, but about these 6 agencies and what it means when budgets are being cut to help out underserved communities. When you don't have the money to do that kind of good, what time and resources do, and giving back. And so we're trying to tell this bigger picture story and help these organizations. But the top 20 organizations that applied are all getting free tickets to Advertising Week for their whole teams. Free, you know, super delegate passes for their whole teams. We're going to have a nice networking event for everyone after Kevin's talk. And it's like, and that's the point, is what's the point of having any of this network, this platform, if we can't actually be the change that we want to see and do good with it. And so, and I also am very mindful of the fact that for the rest of my life, the first thing that's going to be attached to my name when you Google me now is probably Kevin Bacon, right? Because we've been in press conferences together. There's all these articles, and he's Kevin Bacon, and and that's okay. That's great.
That's okay
great
to be connected to him.
If it's because
especially because of this.
Because of this. If we've done something now that forever the first thing you see when you look me up is worked with 6 organizations to help 6 nonprofits to tell the story about giving, to help make the world a better place. I don't want to over-romanticize it a lot, but like if even one agency says, oh, we should do that too for one nonprofit.
Tremendous. What a great legacy and good work. Absolutely. Yeah. When you are crushing it at work and everything's going well and you are happy, do you have a sense of what contributes most to your happiness in that environment? What is that?
It's twofold. I try really hard because my day-to-day is so. If you looked at my schedule every day, especially when I'm busy, it's just call. But the calls and the people I'm with, you know, they're people from the biggest brands and companies and agencies, or the representatives of the biggest celebrities. I'm having these conversations.
Interesting conversations.
Interesting. How lucky am I, right? And then also I think about it also when I'm looking at the schedule and seeing it all come to fruition. And I know all these announcements we're going to be making and the things that people don't know yet and what things are going to feel like on that stage. Like, I'm just so happy because it's like we make people happy. People can learn, and we make people happy, and people have fun. And that's it. That's what we do, right? We help people learn. We help people connect. We help people have fun. Yes, people overanalyze it and can cover it to death and say a million things about what we do and what it means for the industry and the whole thing. But at the core, we're just making people feel things, and we're making people think, and we're making people have fun. That's really it.
Love it. And that is a great purpose and mission to have. When you're trying to get a new client, what do you think, you know, obviously now you have credibility, you have years behind you, but what do you think helps to build this trust and bond that people will open themselves and give you access?
Yeah. Well, client-wise, I'll say the one thing that goes all the way back to the music industry, and then I'll go back to this. The one thing I said to the client always when I was first starting in Scrappy was, if I don't deliver, I don't get paid. I took less than other managers were taking when I was younger.
You bet on yourself.
I bet on myself. And I said, only pay me commission on the things that I deliver for you, not the whole 360. Did that back then. Here, what is it here? It's because I make it really, really clear. And I think I have a really strong reputation now as it relates to, I wouldn't call them clients, but any relationship that I have is, I'm not coming to people with asks. I'm only going to them with offers. I feel like anything I'm presenting to someone has actual tangible value to it, and then I'm never going to someone saying, can you just do me this, like, can you come, can this person come speak about this, because it'd be really great and everyone would love it. It's never that. It's like, I've got this audience and you've got this thing and the timing is perfect, and you know, if you see a return on this investment of time and resources, I'd be thrilled. My stage is your stage, and if you don't, that's fine too, because the time will be right one of these days, and when it is, I'm going to be here with it. I play long game for as long as it takes.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
You just have to be well-intentioned. If people see you're well-intentioned and that you're not all business, it's the nice guy thing for this, right?
Yeah, but it's really showing up and being, walking the walk and being that authentically. You know, that becomes your brand.
I'm putting in the work too. Like, I'm going to them. I'm not just saying, can you come speak and do an appearance? I'm putting in the work and saying, this is why this makes sense. This is why, and this is what we have for you when you come to do it. How do we create
value?
That's it.
Yeah. You have been on some big stages and with some really heavy hitters. Do you ever get imposter syndrome? Do you ever get, you know, I feel nervous just having this conversation today.
That's nice of you.
Do you ever feel that way?
I forever did. Forever, ever did. I think I'm only now, and even now I still get it a lot, but like, I think I'm only now at the point where I can call myself out on it and say like, hey man, this is a case of it. And it's only now because I've been doing this work for so long.
Right.
Because I just kind of fell into this from the music industry. I got right place, right time, right person to help me out. Picked up on it, snowballed. But yeah, and so forever there was imposter syndrome. When you lose jobs, there's imposter syndromes. When you have your own business and then you have to go look for, you know, you get imposter, and all these things collect. 6th through 8th grade gives me imposter syndrome still. I mean, of course. And I think that's normal. And I think what people really should know is that it never stops at any level. Like, no matter who you speak to in this chair, no matter what, if they have a C in front of their title,
right,
the answer is probably going to be yes at some point in their lives, and it probably still is yes at certain points. But that's okay if we can just sit back and say like, all right, well, this is this. That's what this is.
Right.
It's hard to build yourself up, right? Like, it's really hard because finding that level of like building ourselves up and self-centeredness is really difficult. But like, if we could even just stick to our own facts, and say like, you've been doing this for this long. Yeah. You went from this to this to this. Like, you can get yourself out.
The way that you would talk to somebody else.
You have to. I have to.
Not in the internal voice.
It's the only way is if I can talk to myself, not talk to myself, but think to myself like I would advise someone else and take myself out of it.
Right.
Following your own advice is the hard part.
That's the most difficult.
You try. You do what you can.
When things get stressful or crazy, is there a routine that you have to kind of just recenter yourself, or kind of just
I'm not great at it.
Not great at it.
I'm working on it. I'm really, really working on it.
Well, that's a real honest.
I'm not.
I think that is a work in progress. I mean, I think that people who have something like that, it's amazing. I mean, you know, some people say, well, I meditate. I'll walk outside and I'll meditate. I'll do something like that. No practice.
I've got ADHD as bad as ADHD probably gets, and I don't think I realized it was until I was an adult, right? Like, I thought it was just the person I am, but like, you know, it's both your superpower and your liability. It's both. It's absolutely both my superpower and my absolutely. And so I think even just working on that and being able to identify that and being able to just try to like basket things, you know, has helped me with that. Sure. And even just that mindset has helped me to realize like when certain things are crazy and stressful, at least in work, and life is hard because sometimes the life thing it just absorbs too deeply and personally to feel. But if you could just look at everything as just like it's just one of many things. Then, like, you could try to take yourself out of it. Right. The things in life, the day-to-day life things that feel emotional, and that's the stuff I have to get really a lot better at. I'm not like one to snap or anything. I'm one to absorb really hard. It. Oh, and I feel it. I feel it. So I got to work on that, you know. I think, again, you know, assets are our liabilities in that way, you know, and that's also what makes you, you know, attract the type of people that you do is that same thing.
When you are thinking about putting together an event and you're prioritizing, is there sort of a is there sort of a practice like a ball player would go through a routine? Is there something that you do to organize? Because I just think about the incredible amount of detail and time and timing. Do you have a system set up to be able to tend to that, or
on the day-to-day, or like at the event?
On the day-to-day?
It's organized chaos. It really is, because I program New York, I program Mexico, I program podcasts, I program all these other, and then, you know, but then there's other content I'm working on too, and growth within the organization that I'm working on, and things within the creator space that I'm trying to help bring out, and things for CMOs that I'm trying to work on. And so it's not the method as much as just kind of the same mindset and system for every single thing I do. Content is content. I look at every single thing as we're telling a story. I mean, I even look at my colleagues who work on the sales team and the partnership team and the side of, like, you go to events and there's activations, you have booths and all. I even look at them as storytellers. I look at every single thing that we do in the event, activation, media, marketing. I look at it all as storytelling and content. All of it. In-your-face storytelling. And so I approach everything the same.
And creating an experience.
It's work, and that to me is also story. It is. And so everything that I think of in every conversation I have, I'm thinking of from I don't want to say the end user experience, but the actual attendee experience.
Right.
Or the reader experience, or everything. Does the title work? Does every single thing work? What do people do when they go to events? What are they thinking about? What makes them like something? I dive into data. Like, it's all like such a system in my head now at this point that
it's almost on autopilot.
It is. It really is. Yeah.
What do you think makes a good interviewer or a moderator? Like, what makes somebody good at that?
Prep work. A lot of prep work. It's got to feel like a conversation.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to feel like a conversation. Even if you have a list of all of your questions.
Right.
Finding the transition from something they just said into the next question.
Right.
Even if you find it from 2 answers ago, and just referencing and just being really present while you're in your own thoughts and thinking about these transitions.
Right.
If you can live in the moment and in your head at the same time, somehow it works. And then 2 is just like the personalization of it, and just being a human with someone.
Right.
And letting them know that you want to tell their story. If you make it about them, that always helps. Right. You know, just you are literally just there to drive the car.
That makes a lot of sense to me. When people first meet you, is there something that they would be surprised to know about you that, you know, you don't necessarily advertise, or they wouldn't necessarily know by Googling you?
All of it, probably, because I mean, like, honestly, all of it probably surprises people when they meet me at first. I think everything. Used to do stand-up back in the day. Did it for a good decade. Also, I was doing clubs in New York City. I was doing comedy at colleges for a little while. Luckily, it was before YouTube existed. I was okay at it. I was all right. I was good. I'm sure I could have been better if I kept at it after all of it. And I was in a very different time of my life, right? The material of a young 20-year-old is different than what a early 40s, whatever, would be talking about now, and certainly back then. But I had a lot of fun. I was hustling doing that too. I would go from club to club to club at night. Wow. I would do 2 or 3 shows at night, and then I would go home, sleep, wake up, and go to work and do it all over again. That's one thing that I think people don't know.
A lot of your story is centered around hustle. I mean, like this entrepreneurial approach. Where did that come from? Do you know where that comes from?
I mean, it probably goes back to all the things we've said, which is like wanting to wake up every day and say I get to go to work. Maybe it's the ADHD that I didn't realize, and just loving a million different things and wanting to do all of them, but like actually locking onto them and like being like and also because the things I'm hustling for are the things I want to be doing. It's always the like, wouldn't it be awesome if things.
Yeah.
All of these things that I'm hustling feel like wouldn't it be awesome if blank. Wouldn't it be awesome if I was working with all these bands and like I was their manager and I was backstage and on the tour bus? That'd be awesome. Yeah, I should do that.
Slash.
Wouldn't it be awesome if, you know, I was up on stage interviewing all these people and like, how do I go? Yeah, that would be awesome. Sure. Like I've always wanted to be in the mix of the things and in the business of the things, as opposed to, and that's why I chose the music industry over stand-up at one point, right? Like was. As much as I was having fun with the music industry, I realized I had people whose families were reliant on the work I was doing. And I gave up my on-stage stuff at that time because I loved being in the mix. I really loved being in the mix.
But I'm sure that experience had to help inform and develop your communication skills and your style and your approach.
Yeah.
You know, even through what you do today. I mean, making people laugh is one of the hardest things in the world to do.
It was everything. I did improv when I was in college. In Oswego, they had an improv group there. It probably existed when you were there too, actually. You know, it just helped me to think on my feet. Making people laugh is always great. It's something I've loved since I was a kid. Yeah. My grandmother told me dirty jokes when I was like 5 or 6 that no young child should hear. But maybe the person I am today, and I'm super grateful for that. And yeah, I think that it really prepared me to think quickly, to be able to handle situations, to make people laugh, to read the room. Right. Maybe the most important thing, reading the room. Reading the room. You don't always have to crack a joke anyway, but like reading the room, just intuition of people and reading people, right? And then you start thinking about the psychology of people and how to, and like all of that, and that helps you with pitching and I don't do sales, but pitching and I think all of it kind of like led me down the road of, if you really think about it, of what I do now. Yeah. With all this entrepreneurial kind of energy around you, have there been people who have been mentors and figures to you that have, you know, kind of impacted you, you know, personally or professionally? Present company included? Yeah. Present company included. No, you've been wonderful. Thank you. Always, which I'm very grateful for. Yeah, there's people who I will go to for advice in certain situations within different industries and areas. There's 1 or 2 people within the media and entertainment industry who are really great to have because, to your point, it's a very weird, surreal life with a lot of shiny people that I interact with, and it feels very strange to talk about it without feeling like a name dropper or like, you know, I'm flaunting all the good stuff. But it is my day-to-day, everyday life, and so I do have a few people in that world that I can speak to about this stuff like all the time, and they can drop names on me that would far surpass, you know, and accomplishments to me that far surpass, and so I feel great about that, and I learn from them. In college, I had mentors, or at least people who I think gave me really big pieces of advice that have stuck with me. So much so that I would attach the designated honorary mentor title to them, right? Like maybe I don't go to them all the time. Sure, but in my mind, they impacted you. I think of that one thing they said, and I think to myself, well, what would they say now, like based on that? And I'll tell you, actually, all right, there was a professor named James Harrigan. He was a, what even it had nothing to do with my major at all. No, it was like politics kind of class, I think. But he said there was a paper that I handed in or something, and he gave it back to me, and it was a fine grade, but it was like the last one of the year. And he wrote on it, and he didn't do this for anyone. He wrote on it, "Michael, one day you'll believe in yourself as much as I believe in you. I want you to remember me on that day." Whoa. And what a guy who's, you know, talk about feeling seen. I mean, you know. He was a great professor. It was a great professor. And, but like, and I liked him a lot, but just to say that, like, and I was looking as he was handing and it was just on it was in red, and it literally, "One day you'll believe in yourself as much as I believe in you. Think of me on that day." And this is, geez, I graduated in 2005, so we're 20 years later. I'm still talking about that, and he knows how grateful I am. I have thanked him time and time again for that moment. I will never, ever, ever let the gratitude go without being expressed. It doesn't matter how long it takes. Yeah. While people are still around, like and you feel so good to thank them. Right. They feel so good getting it. Like, it's never bothering anyone. So I've made it clear to him on multiple occasions how much it meant to me. It's awesome. But there have been mentors, and then the things that have stuck. And I feel very lucky to have those. And also, just like the interactions I've had with some of the best in the world, and like these little one-off lessons that I learned from people. I'm not going to consider them mentors, but like,
nuggets of wisdom that are being dropped must be incredible.
I mean, I think this feels like a fair name to drop without it being an overly name dropper one, because people will understand. Like Mark Cuban, right? Yeah. Like, I've worked with him before. He's a very nice guy. And it's like, he's the type of person where it's like, well, if you're in a room with him and you hear one thing, that's a thing like all of these, like about whether it's about AI or business or whatever, the one thing he said to this person in passing. And you have a million Mark Cubans that you work with at Advertising Week, right? Not just Mark Cuban, but like a million CEOs and CMOs and people who've done these great things. And so you hear all these morsels.
Best in class,
everyone.
Who bring this breadth of experience that you don't really have access to, normally.
I'm not necessarily the expert in the things. I'm just the guy that absorbs from all the experts all the time, and by proxy have been asked about things that people, because of that. So that's how I look at it. I'm just learning from the best all day, every day.
That's great, because remaining humble and remaining a lifelong student is I think one of the more important contributors to success. Right, it helps you continue to adapt. What is your style of leadership? Do you have a style of leadership, or do you the way you would describe kind of how you want to kind of pay it forward in a way?
Yeah, I know the type of leader I didn't want to be because of I've had bad situations. I mean, I've had like the verbally abusive bosses. You hear about those stories in the industry where people like especially in the entertainment industry, where you've got bosses that like throw garbage cans across. Like I've been through it all. I've had situations where I've been in a job where I was sleeping in an office because they wouldn't let you, I had to work 16-hour days, 17-hour days. I wouldn't see it was just, so I knew what I didn't want to be.
Right.
The boss I am is just what we spoke about. I try to, there is a way to be a caring, kind, friendly, feel like a friend with a person and still be their boss, without overdoing it. You just care and you ask them how they're doing, and you genuinely show an interest in them. You care about their growth and their development. You find the things that are their strong suits and you help them to attach to those and progress in that lane. You find the lanes that they're not strong in and help them get comfortable.
Right.
And you just, if you can just find where the superstar is within that superstar and develop it, that's who I am. I've always tried to care genuinely about the person and their success. And when they're ready to go, hopefully it's because of the good things that I've taught them, to go and do bigger and better things. And I think because of that, you see, I still hear from interns from Vinyl Artist Management when I was running the company. Wow. Nonetheless, the people who've reported to me in the past.
Right. Yeah. It's like the Maya Angelou quote. People will forget what you say, but they'll never forget how you make them feel. And I really do believe that. Your professional career, collided with music, and still music is a part of what it is that you do. Do you have a favorite genre of music, or is it pretty eclectic and all over the place?
I listen to everything. I mean, it really is everything. It's if you hear all my favorite groups, they just go across. I could be listening to reggae and hip hop. I could be listening to some jammy harmonic kind of music. I can listen to pop kind of stuff. I listen to it will go from Marley to more reggaeton, hardcore kind of stuff to hip hop, and then I'll get into I've been listening to AJR a ton lately. They're a pop group, I listen to Butch Walker, who's a power pop kind of artist.
Love that. So you just appreciate music, and it could be in a variety of.
I like feeling things. I broke up with music for a long time because of the music industry. It really tarnished my love. I think it's twofold. I think a lot of people say that they still today listen to the stuff they listened to back in high school and college, and that's what they listen to. So there is that. But then there was this gap where I just wasn't taking in new music because I was just kind of I just had a sour taste from the industry after a certain amount of time.
Sure.
And then there were artists that brought me back. Artists like that group AJR, and Andy Grammer is a great kind of pop fun artist. So I love Andy Grammer, and his music is very much about feeling and emotion and being really vulnerable. And so there are artists that made me love music again, but no, I'm
storytellers.
But I'm all over the place, all over the R&B, hip hop. I mean, I'm still listening to Bone Thugs and like I'm still listening to Nate Dogg and like the things that made me feel forever ago.
Right. If you were hosting a show on a regular basis and you had your sort of your walk-on music, would there be a tune that you could choose or think about that would be like your walk-on song?
That would change every day. It would change every. I couldn't even. I would really have to think about it if I had a show like that. That's a hard one. I don't know.
It's all right.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'd have to feel the vibe of that show to know what story we're telling. Or I'd go to an artist and have them record one. An original or something
I love
like that. That's probably what I would end up doing, honestly.
In terms of networking,
Yeah.
The event that you're a part of and responsible for is an incredible. Outside of that event, what's the best networking event that you've been to? Do you have one in mind? And
man, there was an event that I think fell victim to COVID. Unfortunately, it was called BEA, Book Expo America.
Okay.
For me, for what I do, not for what everyone does, for what I do, that was the greatest event in the world because I found out every single publishing house and what books they were publishing for the rest of the year, typically, right?
Oh, wow.
Months and months in advance. You get copies of it. They're all there for free. All the authors are there signing books. I met some of my favorite authors of that event every year. But I could book an entire event from one event like that because I could say, oh, great, you've got a business book coming out in October, great. Or you've got this coming out, great. What other celebrities do you work with? What books do you have there? It wasn't just because of who was there. It was because of
the ability to leverage those encounters.
Every single PR person from every single publishing house was at that event. I loved that one. What else? I mean, it just depends. There's so many events out there. Anything Advertising Week does is great in its region, but also I think what we have to just LinkedIn is great for networking if you use it right. If you use it right.
Yeah.
Intentional, because networking is only good if you're doing it right and like intentionally and not just like throwing spaghetti to the wall and seeing what sticks. It's sort of like
in a reciprocal way and adding value which you look to do. Is there one word that you'd want people to use to describe you?
I guess sticking to the theme, probably a storyteller. Either a storyteller or it's kind of what you said, being just a good person. I mean, just good. And I don't mean good, and I guess good it's such a weird answer to say good. But like good could be such a good at what you do, good as a person, good at the core, like just a good soul, kind, right? Like that to me is a good person. And so maybe it isn't the storyteller, maybe it's just good. He's a good person, good at what he does, good heart, cares about people, good person.
Love that. When you think about kind of what is next for you, do you have a sense of kind of what you see on the horizon in terms of next steps, scope of responsibility, things like that?
I'm just trying to blow it up even more. It's like everything is a story, whether it's what's on social, what articles we read, whether it's clips, whether it's newsletters, whether it's the stuff on stage, whether it's the experiences we experience. I'm just really, really, especially this year, looking at it from that full 360 of like, what's the story in everything? Like, what are the stories in every single element of content? Not just programming on stage and not just the things associated with it, but just everything. And where can we look and focus on all of these stories? So yeah, I think it's more taking out the word programming and thinking more about the word content across the board.
Love that. Thank you so much for taking the time to come in today and speak with me.
It was fun.
I so greatly appreciate it. Your career story is one that's just unique and impactful, and I'm just really appreciative that you took the time to come in and share with me.
I appreciate it. It was fun to go down memory lane with you on it too. I don't think about all these things a lot. It's fun to get introspective and helps you realize how lucky you are sometimes when you get to talk about it. So it's been fun. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, of course.
Really appreciate it.
And thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you so much.